Katie Killjoy. I'd say it's a pleasure to meet you, but that would be a lie. You can put that away. I don't touch the gays.
You know, for all the controversies this show has gotten, these have got to be the absolute dumbest. Listen, we all have our tastes when it comes to YouTube pilots. We have the lackadaisy connoisseurs, the murder drones, edgy bitches, whatever the heck the digital circus fans are doing over there. And of course, my absolute favorite, my Hazbin Hotel / Helluva Boss degenerates. Now don't get me wrong, the others are good in their own way, but my heart was grabbed in one faithful day in 2018 and the show never let go ever since. Which just might be a part of the reason I can't stand some of the more, how can I say it, Twitter-ish criticisms this show gets. Or I guess it's excess at this point, I don't know. Like, criticize these shows all you want, Lord knows they're not perfect. Hazbin doesn't do much to earn some of its emotional moments. Helluva's handling of stalls can be very confusing at times, and both shows rely a bit too much on vulgarity in place of actual jokes from time to time. They're far from perfect, but it just seems like the more these two get popular, the dumbest the criticism get from people who just hate it because it's popular. Heck, sometimes it's the complete other side of the spectrum where fans just expect way too much from the show and will hold it to an impossible standard. So I thought it could be fun to sit here and bitch about this for the next 10 minutes or so. Let's go.
You can put that away. I don't touch the gays. I have standards.
God damn it. So let me just set the scene for ya. It was 2018, the much anticipated Hazbin Hotel pilot was just released. It's very vulgar, very bloody and musically driven, but maybe most importantly, the show was hella gay, which of course attracted much attention from the LGBTQ plus RS99 hashtag Hulk Hogan community. And if you're in any way, shape or form familiar with Boku no Hero Twitter, then you know where this is going. Alrighty, let me describe the scene for ya. The gay main character is talking with an evil character whose name is literally Lady Killjoy. Okay, we clear? Well, apparently not, because obviously having a bad guy say a bad thing of course means that the creator themselves believe in that. So obviously that means that Vivziepop, the gayest writer to ever gay, is a homophobe now. Man, you cannot make this shit up. Okay, so let me get this clearly. Vivziepop, the gayest animator to ever animate, the creator of Helluva Boss that literally have no straight main characters whatsoever, with everyone in this hellhole being either gay or bisexual, is now a homophobe. I repeat, you cannot make this shit up. She had to apologize for making the bad character say the bad thing, like, fuck! Helluva Boss starts focusing on starlets instead of the imps. Well, now this is the day that Helluva Boss have died. Millie gets less screen time than the other two male characters. Well, now the show is sexist. I mean, this stuff just keeps coming. Brenda takes a selfie with a child. Well, obviously the creators of this show are hypocrites who want kids to watch their show. Vivzi draws a joke art of one of her young characters being pursued by one of her scary villains. Well, obviously she likes P-words now. Think we're done yet? Oh, baby, you haven't seen nothing. Some people complain the characters are too red so they can't see them good. Some complain that the characters are too skinny, which means that the character design are lazy, which is okay. And for crying out loud, Hazbin animators are getting paid $30 per second for rough animation, while Helluva Boss are getting paid $60. Well, that obviously means that Vivziepop's underpaying her animators while she enjoys vacations on front seat rows. Just to turn out, that is no, she is not underpaying Hazbin Hotel's animator, but instead overpaying her Helluva Boss animators, proven by comparison to another respectable indie animation in Monkey Wrench. By the way, all of this is just coming from people who hate these shows. We haven't even started talking about people who actually like these shows but just hold it to an impossible standard, with every episode needing to be perfect. Every single time an episode was just a fun adventure, these guys will start talking about how this is the downward of the show and they should only do serialized stuff. And I do mean every single time, without fail. Stryker's second appearance have him be less cool and mocked by the other characters. Well, now they ruined Stryker. Helluva Boss's episode 5 had a trans character. Well, this was not fetishizing trans people. I mean, for fuck's sake, a beautiful scene between Fizzaroli and a kid where they connect through their disability. Well, this is bad representation and the show is just showing this to get some brownie points. Like seriously, Hazbin Hotel is not doing One Piece level of world building. People will tear this show apart. Helluva Boss episode 4 was just fun jokes with non-threatening villains. People will tear this show apart. Helluva Boss does not immediately follow up on episode 7's tallest thing. Well, this one's understandable. Like, actually, what did you think was gonna happen? Okay. I'm starting to realize that I spent the past 5 minutes or so just rambling randomly. So let's just try and go by them one by one, shall we? I kinda wanna divide the next portions of this video into 3 sections, out of which I like to call the Helluva stuff, the Hazbin stuff, and let's dig up dirt from 10 years ago, stuff. Cool, cool. I suppose that the best place to start would be with Vivziepop's most well-known criticisms, the vulgarity. It's no secret that the use of swear, cusses, and insult is a little excessive in her work. If you ever seen one of If Blank was made by Vivziepop's video, then you know what I mean.
Look, I don't care where you come in the living world, just come to your job on time, alright?
And while yes, some of the time it can be a little pointless,
Because it won't be so entertaining to watch over an empty hotel, will it, shit ass?
it's also a part of the show's identity. Because Hazbin and Helluva are not two shows that swear a lot, they are the shows that swear a lot. I don't believe that the vulgarity to be an addition, but a feature. Yes, sometimes the whole joke is the vulgarity and nothing else, but that's a very, very, very rare instance. 9 times out of 10, you know what? No, screw that. 99 times out of 100, the swearing is a feature, not the point.
And you all remember Vaggie!
Rip Badgie's cutmouth out her ass!
You just chill, dude. Fuck.
Out of the boss itself, it never had that much hate at season 1, weirdly enough. Now don't get me wrong, this is a Vivziepop project after all, so it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but most of the show's Twitter nonsense seem to actually come from a place of love, weirdly enough. From people who love this show and actively want it to get better.
What?
Why, hello, my big dick Blitzy.
What? Fuck!
Dad!
Language, everyone.
Remember when Matt made an episode about Hazbin Hotel just for it to be the second comic of its Hollow Knight video, with the ever so rare instance of him getting his facts wrong and not understanding the series he's talking about? I mean, I thought that Alistair was based on Bell's cipher of all things, which Vivzi herself had to come and say no, and a simple wiki check would have cleared that out. He also said that IMP will be Charlie's downfall, and worst of all, he kept referring to IMP as Immediate Murder Patrol rather than Immediate Murder Professionals, which is just funny to me for some level. I don't know why. I was like, right, the hell of a bust of love. I believe this mainly started specifically with episode 4. You see, episode 4 was just supposed to be a fun comedy adventure with no character drama. But since episode 1 through 3 all had amazing character arcs, episode 4 was seen as the outlier here. Episode 1 dealt with Marx's morality, 2 with Stoll's family while hinting on Blitz's past, and 3 was a Luna episode which is all his community needed to fall over backward. 4 on the other hand just wanted to be, well, fun. A funny human who delivers good liners.
We're here to remind you about possibly life's greatest joy of all. Money.
Some goody two-shoes antagonists for the imps to play off of, a mind-blowing third climax, and some custom partying because why not at this point? And sadly, this started the backlash that every episodic show nowadays gets. You're never allowed not to move the characters forward. Think of any episodic show with an overarching plot and you'll probably find this fanbase doing exactly that. Steven Universe fans will tell you that season 4 is nothing but filler because it took a break from the main story. The Owl House fans will tell you that the first 15 episodes are the weakest because they don't follow the main story. Freaking My Little Pony fans will tell you that anything after season 4 that doesn't do world building is just filler. And you can start to see why Helluva Boss episode 4, being the only one in the season that doesn't advance the characters, will get this much hate, despite the episode itself being the funniest episode in the entire season.
Oh, hell no! Don't listen.
Lyle Lipton, it is our humble opinion that you should continue the process to commit die.
Heck, sometimes the problem itself is not with not advancing the story, but where the story is headed. Enter Season 1, Episode 7, Aussies.
That robo-meat made us more money entertaining those kids than the ones we sell to get you freaks off, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean! I have 4 of them!
Okay, keep that guy far away from me.
Ozzy's mark was arguably the biggest turning point of the whole show, deciding to focus more on Stolas and Blitz rather than Moxie and Blitz as the show's 2 main characters. And with that, of course, comes the backlash. Saying that Vivziepop is sexist. Hey, that's the fanbase I know. So, bear with me for a sec, cause this is gonna need a bit of context. The pilot, introducing the characters. Episode 1, Moxie episode. Episode 2, Stolas and Blitz episode. Episode 3, Blitz and Luna episode. Episode 4, IMP episode. Episode 5, Maxie episode. Episode 6, Moxie and Blitz episode. Episode 7, Blitz and Stolas episode. And with episode 8 delayed to season 2, that was what we're left with for a while regarding season 1. Blitz have 5 episodes to himself, Moxie has 3, Stolas had 2, Luna has 1, and Millie have 0. So here we see that the male characters just have more to do than the female characters. So that obviously means that Vivziepop is sexist, right?
That's amazing. You are 100% wrong. I mean, nothing you've said has been right.
Also, not every character needs a main role with constantly developing personalities. Take One Piece for an example. The main cast, for the exception of Luffy, Zoro, and Usopp, mainly remain the same despite how much time we spend with them. And that's fine, because One Piece is not concerned with character development, but with character exploration. Because while yes, these characters remain the same from the moment we see them, and 1,000 chapters in, I can literally tell you everything about them. What they like, dislike, habits, and more, because the show is exploring them, not developing them. God, One Piece is good. Man, I just keep getting sidetracked. Where was I? Right. You don't see the Owl House fans complaining that Amity needs one episode. Well, you totally do, but that's not the point. The point is that characters can just be in supporting roles and not take center stage. And you know what? That's fine. Having a character be a supporting girlfriend is fine. Nobody is looking at superhero shows and demanding that MJ, Lois Lane, and Val get center stage. Why? Because they're here in the story to fulfill a certain role, and they do that perfectly. And again, that's fine. Millie could just be here to support Moxie and kick ass and look cool doing it, while leaving center stage to other characters. And as for these characters, no one have been more controversial than Stolas himself.
Sorry, I fucked your husband.
What the fuck was that, Stolas?
That was the sound of a fucking divorce!
I truly do believe that Season 2 is when the hate around Helluva Boss really took off. Not necessarily for dropping quality, mind you, I still think that Season 2 is all in all better than Season 1 in many aspects, but just that it gives more opportunities to be criticized, wasted potentials, inconsistent tone, and the least good episode of the whole show. Not bad, but the least good. And I believe this all started with one character, Stella.
You better not, you fat fuck!
No, wrong Stella.
I like tormenting you. I want to keep reminding you of what you did.
In Season 1, Stella was this bitchy, but you see where she's coming from, woman who's angry because her husband is cheating on her while dragging her reputation through the mud by sleeping with the lower class. She was a character that while you hate what she's doing, you can realize that Stolas started it. But Season 2 rolls around and she's just the worst. And cartoonishly so at that.
What a pathetic fucking man!
You did it. Stupid bitch doesn't even know.
Now, this on its own is fine. Nothing wrong with just an asshole being an asshole. In fact, Vivian does perfect that art later on with Adam, who's just so deliciously punchable. But with Stella, people kinda expected more. And for all these expectations to be thrown all out the window like that, obviously some people were gonna get disappointed. And honestly, it's rather obvious that the point of this scene was not to give her character more screen time, but just to put Stolas in the clear when it comes to any moral questions. It's obviously did not sit well with many people. And you know what? This is one of the few talked about criticisms of the show, aside from the obvious ones, that I can actually understand. Mind you, I don't agree with, but I understand. Sadly, just like the next one, tonal issues. Yeah, I know I'm doing it in defense of Hazbin Hotel and Helluva Boss video, but when I see a bad criticism, I ignore it. You see, Helluva Boss is usually very good at letting its emotional scenes breathe. Perfect example, episode 2. See how the show cleverly dances around comedic and dramatic moments. The show knows that if it had its cake, it's gotta wait a while before it starts eating it. Otherwise, it'll taste too clashy. I have really got to stop getting sidetracked. This is getting too old. But especially in episode 2 and 3 of season 2, the show goes at such a fast pace that comedic and dramatic moments start to bleed into each other, obviously creating a bit of a tonal whiplash. Take this scene from episode 2 for an example.
I'm Mr. Rage's agent, and I don't believe you can just... Oh, you are strong. Oh. Blitz, we don't have time for this. Via could be anywhere. She could be in danger.
They're doing a Brendan Roger reference, everything is very comedic, and then BAM! Out of nowhere, suddenly the tone is very serious again, which catches the viewer off guard and not in a good way, robbing the scene from the impact that it could have otherwise had. It's especially bad in episode 3, where in this scene the tone is incredibly serious, with Moxie's dad even hitting him at one point. And then suddenly this happens.
I give a shit about your stupid beard. Come on, Mox. I even went through the trouble of making the house more to your kind's liking. Wait, what do you think I'm into?
It just doesn't work. The scene needs more time to breathe, otherwise it doesn't hit right. Look, it even goes back to serious not 2 seconds after, so what was the point of all this? Okay, easy stuff out of the way, let's get to the hardest episode to talk about. Season 2, episode 4.
No, rather unlucky. I seem to have been stolen by that little cowboy friend of yours.
Oh, which one?
How many cowboys do you know? What does he look like, Your Highness?
Sexy?
That's Striker, sir!
You see, the reason why this episode in particular is so hard to talk about is that all your problems with it is completely dependent on what you're looking for in the show. Now, what do I actually mean by that? Well, for an example, if you like Stella's new cartoonishly bad bitch personality, then you'll like her parts. But if you're from Stella's wasted potentials team, then you'll hate her parts. If you like them mocking Striker and his over-centered ego, then you can enjoy his cool scenes and laugh at his wacky ones. But if you're from the Striker should always be cool team, then you'll hate his wacky scenes and say that they ruined Striker. And lastly, we have the climax. You see, depends on who you ask, this is either the best or the worst fight Vivian have ever created. Because in here, the idea of the fight is that they keep cutting back to Luna getting her shot for comedic effects. Now, what the show is going for over here is absolute fun. The song starts with a cool action music scene, but then quickly turns into this upbeat pop song, with the fight cutting back to Luna blitz for a wacky mood. Now, a lot of people, weirdly enough, hate that and say that it takes the suspense out of the scene and that Luna's part should have been cut completely. And I really could not disagree more. We already know that Storms isn't gonna die. We already know that Millie and Moxie are gonna win. So the show might as well have some fun with it with this light-hearted attitude. Also, are you really gonna look me in the eye and tell me that this is not the best fight choreography Vivziepop have ever animated? Literally perfect. This, on the other hand...
Well, I can tell you, if you're looking for a love potion, you came to the wrong fucking guy. I don't fuck with that artificial bullshit. Lust shouldn't be about force.
So what's the problem? I don't know.
You know, at some point you tend to realize that some of these people just get angry over nothing. Asmodeus of all people actually got some hate because he said that lust should be consensual, and apparently the sin of lust shouldn't say that. Like, are you serious? Heck, the masterpiece of character design in Vivziepop, aka Queen Bee, aka the sin of gluttony. Some people looked at her design and did not think, man, that's a fantastic design. No, they thought, man, why is she in fact? No, I am not joking. Some folks actually got upset because she wasn't fat, forgetting that gluttony doesn't necessarily mean food, but indulging in general. Most of the rest is just stuff I already talked about. You know, the whole transgender, woo, fetishizing, deaf kid, woo, bad representation. Okay, I know I already said this before, but it bears repeating. What kind of brain did idiot looked at this amazing scene and screamed, bad representation, you pathetic freaking imbecile?
Apparently that's a trigger for me.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, let's keep this quick. Like, subscribe, yada yada. Oh, by the way, did you know that comments are just good for the algorithm no matter what? I shit you not. You could go there and type in hashtag AndrewThinkBased and that's good enough for the video's reach. I mean, you made it this far, didn't ya? So might as well, am I right? Back to the video. Has been. Okay, I always knew that this was gonna get 3 times as much hate as Helluva Boss, but I was not nearly enough prepared for this. From this point on, it's just Murphy's Law up in this town. Any small detail that you think might piss someone off will piss someone off. So to not spend all day in here, let's do some speedrunning, shall we? Alistair uses some voodoo symbols for his dark magic. Voodoo guys take offense to that, and now Vivz is a racist. Baggy is very angry at the pilot. Apparently that's an offensive stereotype. The pilot had too many sound effects. Okay, this one's valid, but they fixed it in the final release, so fuck you! This is fun. What next? Adam is not complicated enough. Really? Really? You think the asshole rockstar magnificent dick master over here needs some more depth? Buddy, I don't know how to break it to ya. This is not Walter White. This is freaking Jafar. Charlie shouldn't swear. See, I see where you're coming from. She does not seem like a character who would swear, but on the other hand, I believe that her art includes her behavior rubbing into her people and vice versa, and that does include her people's attitude rubbing into her as well. Again, you're free to have your own opinion. This is just mine. Baggy doesn't get enough screen time. Pretty valid actually. Weird. The Overlord needed some more screen time. No. And I don't know why do people keep saying that. They had a simple role and they fulfilled said role. The show doesn't need to waste what little time it has left on people that can be relevant later or straight up never. You just see Carmela or Rosie once and you immediately get their gist. No further explanation needed. Okay, finally, episode 4, the big one. In this episode, we see Angel Dust get SA'd by Valentino with a sparkling music video to back it up. So Twitter did what Twitter does best and accused the show of everything under the sun. The episode is romanticizing abuse, loser baby is victim blaming, the animators find this sexy. More of this later on. This is shock for the sake of being shocked. Angel Dust is an insult to gay people. Vivziepop is a communist. Okay, I made that last one up, but you would have believed me if I didn't say anything. Okay, where do I even start? Tell me exactly how is this episode romanticizing abuse? Any and every abusive scene in this episode is uncomfortable and straight up hard to look at. The big sparkly music number in this episode is about the hell Angel Dust is going through, not the blast he's having at it. And the only people who say that loser baby is victim blaming either didn't listen to the damn song or are just saying that for attention. Because if you actually listen to the song, you'll realize that it's about Angel and Husker keeping each other company while they're both down. They're not downplaying any of their situations. They're saying my life sucks, your life sucks, let's eat shit together to be happier about it. Not let's get over ourselves, it's not a big a deal. And the animators thing, I'm gonna save that for section 3 for better pacing, but you can deduce the level of intelligence of that one for your own. As for the rest of the season, it's just more of the same stuff. Emily doesn't get 30-minute introduction for her backstory. She's a shallow character. Serpent, just the good boy to end all good boys, makes an art joke. People got mad. The answer to killing angels is too simple, so people start calling the show lazy. Bitch, did we watch the same episode?
Angelic steel isn't common, and those who have it aren't exactly rushing off to test it against exorcists.
Okay, what else? Something, the characters are too red and that's bad for some reason. Something, all the characters are skinny. Ignore this modest mammal that is. Okay, and there is no character diversity. Bitch, are we looking at the same show? This guy's a cat with wings, this one's a spider, this one's an even more stylized spider. This ties for days that are crafty and hard. That's a TV, that's a kaiju, that's an anime girl, and this guy's a moth pimp. I repeat, a moth pimp. You can't get more diverse than this. But you see, this is also bad because the character designs are too busy. Wait, what? You're complaining that the animators put in way too much effort? What kind of criticism is that? I don't know, man. There's just too much going on, you know? I would like to refer you to my previous statement. A moth pimp. Just listen to me for a second. Red or not, busy or not, you're still looking at some of the most creative, you know what, screw that, the most creative, most inspired and magnificent characters designed in all of animation. Fuck you, fight me. So, Vivziepop.
Who was she? What was her deal?
Throughout all my time in YouTube, I have never saw another animator get into this much, what do I call it, Twitter shenanigans? Here's a fun one. If you can think of it, she's been accused by it. Racist, check. Homophobe, check. Sexist, check. Pedo, check. Abusive, check. Literally anything and everything under the sun. Okay, so before we start, I'm gonna need you to get familiar with this pattern for me, okay? Someone makes an accusation with no proof, the accusation gets shared, Twitter gets fussy about it, and an accusation quickly turns into a rumor. Then something along the lines of Vivian comes out and saying, no, this is dumb. Twitter forgets about it for a week before finding the next rumor just 1 week later. Sounds like a lot of steps to be a pattern? Well, you already knew what you were getting yourself into when you chose Twitter, now didn't ya? So, let's get started. For an example, one of the animators behind Poison ships Angel and Valentino, and Vivziepop is apparently on good terms with that animator. So, what does that mean? Well, obviously that Poison is supposed to be sexy, because one of the animators behind it does find it sexy. Oh, you think that one's stupid? Oh, take a note of this. Vivzi starts selling merch on Valentino, so that obviously means that she supports his action. So yeah, next time you see someone with a Frieza figurine, just know that that guy's a racist. She starts selling merch about Crimson, that means that she's a homophobe. She starts selling stickers of her character looking sexy. Well, now she's objectifying her characters. Let you think of that of your own. By the way, I can keep going, but if I start pointing out every and any little one, will be here all day. So I'll just stick for the big ones for now. So, fun fact, Vivziepop's first story actually wasn't Hazbin Hotel nor Helluva Boss. It was actually this little comic about anthropomorphic folk called Zoophobia. It was fun, but unlike her health shows, it never attracted that much attention. But controversies on the other hand, well, it won't be a Vivziepop project if it didn't, now would it? So as you know, Vivian likes drawing fan art, or I guess it's just art at this point, of her characters. And one of these characters is this kid named Edison, who she liked drawing a lot. And one of her drawings were about him doing, this. So, you start thinking that the main problem with this drawing would be the whole snake sex thingy. But nah, they're all animals, no one cares. What people actually got mad about was the age of Edison, actually. And I'm gonna need you to stay with me for a sec, because this one's especially stupid. So get this, Vivziepop, the creator of this character, will tell you that he's 18. But, and bear with me in here, the fan wiki that was created by someone else will tell you that he's 17.
Wait a minute!
So you're telling me that you're more inclined to believe the fan wiki over the creator themselves? Also, you do realize that this art was made in 2012. That was literally freaking 12 years ago. She was 19 at that point. Who even goes around calling 19-year-olds pedos for drawing arts of 18-year-olds? Oh, you wanna hear another joke? Same thing, same controversy, same character happened again. She drew another art of Edison, but this time with a 19-year-old called Gustav. The one saving grace, if you can even call it that, is what people actually got mad about this time around. It wasn't about the age this time, but that Gustav was the teacher's assistant, kinda creating a power imbalance. But then again, and I repeat, if the creator or the show implied that, then sure. But if not, then what are you even getting mad about at this point? Also, I repeat, this shit was 12 years ago. She was freaking 19. God, this is just Hunter and Will all over again. The second big zoophobia, Vivziepop is a pedo controversy, was about this little 14-year-old boy called Kestel. And tell me if you've heard this one before. Someone comes with an accusation about Vivian with no proof or contact. The claim gets shared 1,000,000 times and then boom, put that in with the file. So this one started with this piece of art right here. So out of context, this looks like, oh yeah, he's 14, she's 27, that means that this is pedo bait. And even then you're still pushing it. So, and again, let me set up the scene for ya. This character is named Mirage. The bitch is a freaking psychopath. She's the main villain and the bad guy of Zootopia, okay? And with that in mind, look at this and tell me what you see. Do you see a lovey-dovey ship between two characters? No! This art is supposed to show that this bitch is crazy. She looks like a freak and has drool all over her mouth. It even has "This is where you run Kestel" written all over it. God, every single time with this crap. Okay, I kinda got too angry with that one, so let's take a light one this time, shall we?
Quick, shoot him, Chris! What are you waiting for? How do I know which one to shoot? What? How do I know which one is the real dad? We never switched. Wait, we don't even look the same.
Okay, and today's accusation will be tracing. Because of course it is, why not at this point, am I right? So tracing, for those of you who don't know, is the act of using someone else's art to draw or animate your own. And I'm not talking about inspiration here, I'm talking about frame by frame plagiarism. It's considered bad for the same reason AI art is not okay. The work isn't yours to use, but one small difference about tracing and paying a homage is that tracing, by its nature, have to look the freaking same. And as per usual, no one bothered to double check their bloody information, because a simple side-by-side comparison clearly shows that no, these aren't tracing. Because by that logic, you have to call Voss's entrance tracing because it references the Emperor's New Groove, when it's clearly just paying homage to the scene. As for the next one we have right here, just might be my favorite just because of how dope the whole thing is. Yes, even by Twitter standards. So it all revolves around some fan art Vivian drew about this 2016 movie called Sausage Party. Man, remember Sausage Party? So this had nothing to do with anything, but I'll always find it hilarious how no one bothered to check the age rating of this thing because it was animated, resulting in this plus 18 heavy trailer playing right after stuff like Finding Nemo. Oh man, I love the internet. I got sidetracked again, didn't I? Man, if this was America, I would have been diagnosed with ADHD. Artificial ding, hard as dong. So it was 2016, your 23 ass just saw Sausage Party. Just like the fan artist that you are, you go and create some OCs of your own, like a female version of this Hitler bottle who wanna exterminate all the Jews. Yeah, the movie was very funny. Okay, so you'll draw a female version of this character, have some fun and draw your OCs with some other OCs, anything of stuff. And she's a Nazi. Because at this point, it would be more weird if she wasn't called that. Like, do I really need to explain this one? Because I feel like if I did, a little part of my belief in humanity will die out. I mean, you have critical thinking, don't you? Like, I don't need to sit here and tell you why drawing a gender-bent virgin that pokes fun at a bad person doesn't mean you support the bad person, right? Also, can we just stop digging stuff from 10 or 12 years ago to cancel someone? Because here's an advice, if you have to look up dirt on someone when they were freaking 19, then maybe you should just stop digging. Just a thought. Before we end this, there's just one last thing that I would like to touch on. I noticed that some people are complaining that episode 8 of Hazbin is written like a fanfiction. And to that I had to say, of course it's written like a fanfiction. all of this is written like a fanfiction. It was like this when it started, and that is what we like about it. It's sincerity, it's effort, it's passion. A good portion of the background characters are just the creators' personas or impersonas, for crying out loud. Heck, some of them are the fans' impersonas themselves. Like, how cool is that? Like, at this point, say what you want about the show, but at the end of the day, can you name another show with more inspired songs, one with this amazing animation while having character they animate be this busy looking, one that oozes with this much passion and charm? You know what I think about? Do you know what this show reminds me of? Steven Universe. Yes, they have their flaws, but at least they're, well, sincere. They're not trying to be the next big thing or create an infinite formula. They're just here to tell the story they always wanted to tell and then kindly fuck off. And at the end of the day, isn't that the best thing you could ever do?